and you're at one of our first presentations, Cannabis for Wellness. We thought this would get you here. That's why we put them first.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to introduce our speakers today. We have Elisabeth Mack, who is a registered nurse and with an MBA, and she's also founder of Holistic Caring business company and CEO of Bloom Hemp, and they're going to explain what that is. And Sherri Mack, the BSN RN, accompanying her. So again, welcome. Thank you. Take it away.
Okay, we need that.
You're going to need this, Elizabeth.
Let's go along beside you.
This works.
We're here to educate and empower patients to make choices that are best for them. We're also here to instill in them to feel good and be high. Hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I was cannabis agnostic for many, many years. And you know, the more research I did, the more I discovered that cannabis is this amazing medicine.
I was told that I had a forward stage pancreatic cancer. The doctor really told me he couldn't do anything else. He gave me her name, and she called me, and she came to my house. She started to give me cannabis. My oncologist was puzzled because he couldn't find the cancer anymore.
All of the learning that we get comes from the Green Nurses, comes from their support, comes from their guidance. I trust everything that she says.
Simply meet people where they're at. The plant doesn't, stress to grow, so we don't stress to share it. We're healing people.
Cannabis has been used as a medicine for tens upon thousands of years. Here's the big message. Cannabis needs to be federally legal. We need to have laws that are the same across all 50 states that allow access to anyone and everyone who wants to utilize this powerful medicine.
The Green Nurse and Holistic Caring, growing your health, growing in cannabis, living your best life, and helping others do the same.
That's a beautiful tagline. So let me get back to this. Okay, so I don't need this. My name's Elisabeth, and Okay. So my name's Elisabeth. Welcome here to the inaugural Sun City event. We are going to present the ABCs of CBD for seniors and older adults. We are, and I love this community. We're up in Desert Hot Springs at Mission Lakes Country Club, but this is maybe a next step. So this is me. I have a slogan that says, people are making great medicines, people are selling great medicines, but nobody interprets how to use CBD and cannabis as medicine, and that's what we do. I've been a nurse since 1987, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, got my MBA in 96. And then you can see what happened to me. I changed from insurance companies for 20 years to cannabis. And I crashed my bicycle. I got hurt. I went out on leave to have surgery. I started to heal not only from that incident, but a lot of other things that was wrong with me. And I said, wow, if I can help myself, I have to help others. And that's why I created Holistic Caring. Fast forward, Bloom Hemp CBD. I wrote a book, Cannabis for Health, Become a Coach, which you can see at our table. And then I have several director positions. And we have a lot of fun. So pass it to Sherri.
Hey everyone, my name is Nurse Sherri, and I am a registered nurse, cannabis patient, advocate, activist, and a very, very passionate podcaster here to change the paradigm of healthcare. Cannabis saved my life. Hemp helps me to heal without the high. And I am now pharmaceutical free, very grateful here to be living my best life and sharing this information with all of you. Have you ever heard, cannabis saved my life? Cannabis gave me my life back. Cannabis is giving me a better day. Cannabis has improved the quality of life. Cannabis is helping me to live my best life. The therapeutic use of cannabis brings that high, the hope, inspiration, growth, and healing that you heard me talk about in the video. It brings spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, and social use. The therapeutic use of cannabis has been defined by the American Nurses Association as the use of cannabis products specifically for medicinal, wellness, and healing purposes. Baby boomers and up beyond. My mom just turned 81, and it was very interesting, having a conversation with her. She said, "Is this normal for me to forget things? Is this normal for me to be falling? Is this normal?" I'm like, "No, Mom, it's not." And so my mom's story is very, very compelling, and I'm going to share that on a different slide. But can memory loss be prevented, right? So what's important to us in our golden years? I'm 58 years old, and I'm also thinking about end of life, right? We want to live our best life through our entire life, including our golden years. So what's important? Cognition, movement, independence, quality of life, enjoying your time, right? You don't want to be reliant on pills and procedures 24/7. And challenges as we age. We see a lot in our practice, a lot of clients that come to us are consumers with poor health literacy, making very uninformed choices. A lot of times what's happening as we get older, our metabolism starts to slow down. It's harder for us to clear out medications. Polypharmacy, admissions to hospitals for adverse drug events and falls. Did you know that if you're on 5 or more medications, there's a 50% chance that they're interacting? And if you're on 10 or more medications, there's a 100% chance that they're interacting and probably not in your best and highest interest. And so chronic inflammation due to lifestyle and neuroinflammation. We don't die of old age, we die of old age-related diseases caused by chronic inflammation.
And most of us are full of it. Inflammation, that is. So, when we talk about cannabis as a medicine, this has not been something that just happened overnight, even though it seems like it. And I call desert hot springs desert pot springs because there's so much. But we've been using cannabis for thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, actually, across the world. 1854 is when cannabis was slated into the pharmacopoeia, the dispensatory, what we call our drug list, our formulary, etc. And then we had all of the big companies making cannabis extracts. But in 1937, something called the Marijuana Tax Act passed, and literally cannabis was taken out of the supply chain, taxed out of existence. Doctors were protesting. They didn't want this because it's a very therapeutic modality that works on many different things, but it was very racially motivated, and then corporate interests, pharmaceuticals, etc. And then in 1970, this is when it became actually illegal, when Richard Nixon wanted to get rid of the hippies protesting the war. Said, I can't jail them just for being hippies, but I can jail them for smoking pot. And literally, cannabis was slated into Schedule 1 of the Controlled Substance Act, along with heroin, LSD, and PCP, and all of the medicines that have no medical benefits and highly dangerous and abusive. But we know that's not true. 1996, California brought it back. With Prop 215, and then and that was in the AIDS crisis. But then it was in California slated for any therapeutic use that a physician saw purpose for, and that's when we started to really make headway with it. And then fast forward to 2024. Today we have 38 medical states where there's safe access to cannabis in America now. So 75% of Americans live in a county where we have access to dispensaries. And then cannabis also now is a nursing specialty. The American Nursing Association recognized that. And then the Health and Human Services and the FDA have petitioned the DEA to reschedule cannabis to a Schedule 3. So now we're going to start being able to do some research if the DEA says yes. And that's your history update. But we do believe federal prohibition is about to end. And this is why we need to. When Sherri talked about moving, cannabis is used for pain, for inflammation, for mobility, but also when we think about losing our memory, our brain cells slowing down. We want something called neuroprotection. And neuroprotection is something that CBD and these other minor cannabinoids do very, very well. You don't even see THC on this. THC is the compound that gets you high. CBD is what we call the medical miracle. And then all of these other minor cannabinoids play big parts. And you can see what we're studying in the lab and the scientists. And really, from cancer to Alzheimer's to Parkinson's to pain and movement disorders to seizures, getting better night's sleep, anxiety, being more social, being more happy, all of this can make a difference. And when we talk about how we're going to use cannabis, there are many different ways, and people ask me, hey Elisabeth, you're a nurse, you've been working in this for the last decade, which we have. Is it a recreational drug or is it a medical drug? It's both. And it's also a wellness drug, right? So we can see cannabis in many different ways. And when I talk about the pleiotropic nature of cannabis, that's a big word, but what it means is when you put compounds in, CBD drops under the tongue or capsules, etc., and it goes through the body, it's nudging all of your different physiologies, from the nervous system to the immune system to the digestive system, etc. And that's why, you know, some people are like, is it snake oil or is this really a medical miracle? And if you get good compounds, and quality is what matters. You want USDA organic, you want good tested for potency, purity, cannabinoid profiles, etc. But really, it can be everything. And these two drugs, Epidiolex and Marinol, are FDA-approved versions of CBD and THC. So they know it works as a medicine. In fact, the US government has a patent on CBD. And then this is for wellness, right? When we look at, you know, mood enhancement, spirituality, exercise, metabolism, immune, neurology, pain, sleep, slowing down aging, and then homeostasis, where we're bringing our body back to balance. That's what this plant does when you do it right.
Okay, this is a recently published study in 2023 from New Frontier Data Consumer Survey of 1,874 medical cannabis consumers. And they looked at, why do patients use cannabis? And pain was by far the most common condition treated, with cannabis at 47%, followed by anxiety, panic attacks at 22%. But the most important thing about all of this is that 93% of all these conditions, 93% of these people said that it helped their condition. So regardless of why they were using it, that's a pretty, really good efficacy considering when you're approving FDA-approved drugs, it only requires 20%. So 93%, so it's very, very telling.
And so, anything else about these?
Yeah, so the endocannabinoid system is the largest neuroregulatory system in our body. It regulates all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all of the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell your body to either do something or not do something. So the endocannabinaid system regulates dopamine signaling, serotonin signaling, pain signaling, TRPV1 signaling, glutamate, GABA, and the endocannabinoid system signals both the fight or flight response and the relaxation response. Guess where we function best? In the relaxation response. The relaxation response is where we heal, and cannabinoids are facilitators of that.
Okay.
You could work it out.
Okay.
Okay, so these are a couple of case studies I just want to go over really quickly of people that we've worked with. And I'm going to start off with Marta, and I have a video of Marta at the end that I'm going to share with you all, and she gives her testimonial. So Marta came for me, I did a presentation for hospice. I've been a hospice nurse for a long time, end-of-life nurse, I've been a cancer chemotherapy nurse, I've done a lot of my nursing career. But Marta came to me on hospice from a social worker, stage 4 pancreatic cancer, unresectable tumor, failed chemo, failed radiation. She wasn't eating, she was in a wheelchair, and they gave her 2 weeks to live. Her family bought her all kinds of cannabis. They called me up and said, we don't know how to do this. So I met with Marta, and when we, as nurses, we meet people where they're at. And so Marta and I had a heart-to-heart, and Marta was ready to go. She's like, I'm okay. I'm okay to die. She says, I just want to have some quality time with my family. I want to sleep. I just want to feel good so I can spend time with my family. So we worked on a care plan with Marta where she was doing CBD in the daytime, a little bit of THC at night, and all of a sudden, Marta's cancer was gone. 5 months later, I get a call from Marta. She's in the oncology office. Now I've been talking to Marta, and Marta's not dying every day. So we're tweaking it, right? And I'm not saying anything, not making any promises, but when I got that call, there's no evidence of disease, Sherri, and I need you to help me to get off of these pharmaceuticals. That to me was very telling. So Marta's story, Marta is alive today. I literally just talked to Marta this week. She needed to place a new order, and she's just taking CBD again in the daytime and a tiny, tiny bit of THC at nighttime, and she's truly living her best life. Interesting story about Marta is Marta's husband also got cancer. She didn't tell me, never called me up. And she put him on the exact same thing that I put her on, and he is now cancer-free as well. The next patient in the center is Sister Suzanne. Sister Suzanne I've been working with since 2017. She was on 400 micrograms of fentanyl. First of all, she was misdiagnosed with multiple sclerosis. She fell, had a stroke, was in a coma, and when she woke up, she had chronic regional pain syndrome. And I don't know if you know chronic regional pain syndrome, but I would not wish that on on my worst enemy. It is extremely painful and very, very difficult to manage the pain. She was on fentanyl patches, 400 micrograms. That's enough to knock someone out for a surgery. I did an ICU nursing and recovery room nursing. That is a lot of fentanyl. And she was also getting lidocaine infusions. She had an internal defibrillator implanted in her back for neurostimulation, and she was miserable. And literally, she said, Sherri, I'm desperate. So we started working with her again, started her on cannabis, CBD mostly in the daytime, THC at night. Then we had to slowly wean back and incorporate THC in the daytime as she started to wean off of the fentanyl. Mara is now, Sister Suzanne is now off of fentanyl, back to the church, serving her community. Very, very happy. She actually came on my podcast and was really very, very cute. And that's gonna lead into the next story of my mother, because my mother blocked me on Facebook and wrote me out of her will when I started using cannabis as medicine. So Sister Suzanne said, I want to share this with the world. I don't want people to be afraid of this. So I had her on my podcast. She started doing the podcast circuit because she was so excited about she found cannabis as medicine. And so in the podcast, I said, Sister Suzanne, for all of those people that are very nervous, but this is for my mother in particular, what would Jesus say about all this cannabis, with all due respect? And she held her finger up at me and she goes, Sherri, Jesus would say, what the frig did it take you so long to use this God-given plant that I created for you? Yeah. It would be a sin not to use it. So I took that clip and I sent it to my mother, and this leads into my mother's story. So my mother was not happy about cannabis at all, literally completely plagued with stigma. And I had to send her, but she's been suffering. So my mother has chronic arthritis. She's fallen down a flight of stairs. She's broken her back twice. She's had back surgeries, knee surgeries, tons of arthritis, a lot of pain, and she was not happy. So when she saw the video from Sister Suzanne, she called me up and said, what's the gateway? So we started her off very gently, just using topicals so she could get comfortable using cannabis as medicine. The topicals were not in her bloodstream. So she started to feel relief and felt comfortable. Then after the topicals, we started her on broad spectrum CBD, which is all of the plant, the minor cannabinoids, 0 THC. She goes, okay, this is good. I feel okay, but could it be better? Yes, it could be better, Mom. So then we decided to try full spectrum CBD oil. Full spectrum CBD oil is the whole plant with a trace amount of THC, and she was doing fine with that. And then finally she wanted to experiment. She goes, I want to try the chocolate. I'm ready. I want to know what it feels like. And so I said, Mom, let's just do 1 square. So we got the chocolate bar. I sent it to her. 1 square only. Don't take another one. You can increase it the next night. I said, call me if you get into trouble. Well, she didn't call me. The next day I didn't hear from her, so I called her right away. I said, Mom, what's going on? How was it? She goes, well, I didn't listen. And I had a couple of squares. And I said, how'd you do? She goes, I know what it's like now. It was amazing. I laughed, I giggled. I wouldn't want to do it all the time, but it's not so scary. And so my mom's penance, when she came back to me, when she came on my podcast to share her story, and she goes, I was wrong about all you people using cannabis. And so I said, Mom, how does cannabis make you feel? What does it do for you? She goes, I feel good and I'm not high. What does it mean to feel good and not be high? Well, my pains become background noise. I'm sleeping a lot better. I'm eating a lot better. I'm not as mean, and I'm not so depressed about my medical problems. I feel good. And that's that story. And then we're going to end here. And this is actually Marta for a documentary that we recorded.
Anyone out there that has cancer and is considering cannabis, what would you tell them?
Try, because work really for me, and it's true. It's working. So why not? Doesn't make you worse. Doesn't give you any side effect that all the medication that I was taking was given to me. I was really sleeping all day and not doing anything. I didn't have any energy to do anything. Not only I was down with my, I was not happy, but I was seeing that I couldn't do anything. My husband was washing the dishes. He was trying to cook. I was not able to walk for a period. When I finished my radiation, I was on a wheelchair. Now I cook like crazy. I live again. I see my grandkids. I saw my oldest one is an engineer now. And it's unbelievable. I have another life. I had another shot of life.
There you go. Here's go back to Elizabeth.
Oh, okay. So visit our table, and you know what makes us unique. We have two companies, and you all have a brochure here, and you'll see holisticcaring.com is our nursing company, consultations, our programs. We have online programs where you can learn about CBD and cannabis and cancer and Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and chronic pain and weaning off opiates and mental health, autoimmune conditions, etc. Then we also have Bloom Hemp. And Bloom Hemp is where we have the USDA organic hemp CBD. It ships to all 50 states. Symptom-targeted formulations, and like our two most famous is Focus, which people take in the morning, CBD, CBG, THCV, good for metabolism, energy, cognition. And then Trilogy at bedtime, which is our CBD, CBG, and CBN combination, 1,000 milligrams of each, very deep healing, beta-caryophyllene, which is also an agonist in CB2, healing the immune system, healing the inflammation while you sleep, getting you better sleep, etc. We have a free nurse line, which is also on your brochure, 970-404-HOPE. You can call there and talk to us. We have a couple of nurses answering the phone. We have a pharmacist full-time. We have free care plans. So on the services tab at bloomhemp.com, and I think you can click this right now. If you just hold up your phone and point it towards there, it'll go right to our services tab. Fill out a short intake form with about 10 questions. You know, who are you, your date of birth, what are you taking for medications, and what's troubling you the most? What would you like cannabis to help you with? And then we'll make some recommendations on different products that can help you so that you can have a better quality of life. And then you can share these with your friends if you would like to, but we also have a free network. I'll let you get those photos real quick. But our network is a community. It's like a social media, but it's off social media. And we have, and then this is the Bloom Sample Pack. So this is the other thing that if you don't know where to start, we always say just start with the sample pack. $25, it's on sale, and it will ship to you in about 3 days. There's 3 tinctures: digestive, recovery, and calming. So digestion is your morning, recovery is your afternoon, and then calming is your evening. Muscle and joint cream and the active care cream, very good topicals that you can use. And this really talks about the products. And then gummies, energized gummies in the day, sleep gummies at night. This is really all you need, right? This is your kit, and then you can go to the dispensary and get THC as needed. And then please visit our website at holisticcaring.com. Sign up for the free newsletter. You'll get a free medical cannabis guide. And then listen to our podcast and our webcast. Every month we have something called Clinical Conversations, where we break down a medical condition like cancer. What does conventional care do for it? What does cannabis show in the research? How might we be able to bridge them together and help you supplement the conventional care with cannabinoids in a way that makes sense for you? Anything else?
And so, thank you all. And if you have if we have time for questions, we'll take them now. If not, we will be at the table for the remainder of the day. Yes?
I got a quick one. How old is Martha?
Marta right now is 75.
Thank you.
How are medical doctors coming along with using this in their therapy with their patients rather than traditional?
They're not.
And what's the particular reason?
It's not
It
FDA approved.
It's not FDA approved and losing funding. So I trained a cardiologist and an integrative functional health doctor in Boston for 6 months to teach them how to work with patients and do medical cards. And basically when it came time to do it, they were gonna take away his Medicare prescribing rights. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of fear, which is why our practice makes sense. We've both been nurses almost 40 years, right? And so
We've taken care of 6,000 patients.
Yeah.
6,000 patients in the past 10 years. Yes.
Do you have a retail location?
Not yet. We are actually working on that. So Nicole, who's at our table right now, is working on getting our Bloom Hemp products into dispensaries, because that will be coming soon. But right now, the dispensaries, the menus aren't as nice as I'd like them to be.
But
we help people shop.
it ships from Colorado, in the mountains of Colorado, Evergreen, Colorado. It's USDA organic hemp grown there. So we run the business from California, but the processing is in Colorado, and it ships here in 2 to 3 days. You don't have to go out.
I think we have to vacate and they'll be at their table if you
Yes.
have more questions than answers.